Hi guys, let's talk about how to use Adobe Fresco. First thing we need for this project is to get into your pictures to find your portrait. Now I'm going to use this old portrait of me from last year when I had pink hair, but you're going to want your picture on your camera roll. Now you have the option first to make your picture black and white or leave it color. If you want to make it black and white, let's just do the easy route. I'm going to go up to Edit in the top left corner. Then top right corner, on the left hand side, those three circles in the middle. I'm going to click that. And if you swing it down to mono stands for monochromatic. So if you want yours black and white, you would want to do that first. I personally think it looks really good with black and white for the photo, and you could choose maybe a simple color palette for the drawings on top, but that is your choice. I'm going to go with black and white. Then I'm going to hit done. Now that my photo is edited, I can get into Adobe Fresco. So, as we know, Adobe Fresco looks like this. You're going to start down on the bottom left with blue plus, create new. Now for this one, it might start with, go back, stop that. Yeah, there. Oh, come on, there we go. Okay, create new. It might start you in recents. We actually want to go to the print section. And you want letter. So it's that first one. I'll give you the size of a piece of paper. So we're going to go letter. I like to always start by pinching the screen to make everything a little bit smaller. Now the first thing we want to do is add in our picture. So to do that, on the left hand side, second up from the bottom, you see that little landscape picture, that one there. You want to click that and then go to Photos. That'll take you to your camera roll, find the picture, select it. Now when it puts your picture in or on the page, it makes it kind of small. So we want to start by resizing. Now a pro tip, you never want to pull from the side like this because you see how it distorts the picture? Same thing with up and down. So instead, you always want to pull from the corners instead. Doesn't matter which corner you pull from, but corners will keep the proportions of your picture correct. Now here's kind of the challenging part. You want to make sure your picture fills the entire page and there's no white edges. So like I wouldn't want to stop it there because you see there's a white edge. So I have to kind of move things around a bit to find where I think it would fit. Looks like I have that little black border, so I need to go a little bit larger. You want it to fill the entire thing. Once you like it, top right, hit done. Now, you see on the left here, I have all my layers. Right side, sorry. On the right side, I have all my layers over here. See where I'm kind of clicking? One thing I like to do is if you can't see that, there are these two stacked squares kind of on the top right. Click that and you'll see the layers. I like to then click on the layer I'm on and I want to adjust it a little bit. So I want the layer of my picture selected. And then on the top right, I want these three bars right there. And I want to bring down the opacity. Opacity is how see-through it is. You see how if I lower the opacity, it's a great way to double check and see exactly how much of my picture takes up the space. Yeah, there. So if I click out of this, oops, there we go. So close that back up. You see how there's that lighter rectangle and we got that darker edge. Darker edge spots are all going to be cut off when you're all done. So I like to lower my opacity a bit so I can see where the edge of my paper actually is. You can choose how far. I probably wouldn't go all the way because you can't see your face. But I would lower it a bit like that. And when you're all done, you can put it back up all the way. I think that's a great way so you can really see the area you're working in. Now I want to add another layer. So on the right hand side in the very middle, you see that little box with a plus in it. If I click that, you see how a new layer popped on top. Layers are like kind of stacked on top of each other. So if I drew something on this layer, what's nice is since it's on a different layer than my picture, if I went to my eraser and I erased it, it's only erasing those lines. Whereas if it was on the same layer as my picture, it would erase my picture. So you want to use those layers to your advantage. So let me just undo that completely. All right, so now we have our picture all set up. What we want to do first is kind of a rough draft sketch layer. So I like to go to my brushes, I go to the top one pixel, and let's start by picking the brush. Now for the brush, you could go sketching and just get that pencil. I think that's a great one to start with. Any kind of small, thin brush should be fine. And you also want to adjust your color. So remember this box here in the center? That is how vibrant your color is. Bottom left is black, top right is intense vibrancy. And then you go around the circle to pick your color. Pick a color that you can see easily on your picture. It does not have to be your final choice color. This is just for sketching. Flow is how see-through your design is, and then the number is the size. So you don't want to go huge. Maybe for my pencil, I'm going to go about there, and I want my flow. I don't want to see through it all. You can always test your color. You can remember 2-finger click to undo. So now that you have a color, you want to kind of sketch out your plan. You got to include your name on it. I think name works best on the bottom. You would do your first name. You could do your last name, whatever name you want to be known by. Since I'm known as Mariggy, I would just sketch it out. Again, this is rough draft. Now as you're trying to figure it out, like, ooh, my spacing there is not good. So I maybe undo, and make things a little bit smaller so they fit better. Now is your time to sketch and plan things out. So you have your picture. Remember, you have to also include 10 things. 10 symbols that really represent you, one of which has to be a deeper meaning. So think about things that you enjoy. So like I'm a volleyball coach, so I want to put a volleyball up here, and I'm just going to quickly sketch it out. Again, this is a simple layer. It doesn't have to be intense, and I want some flames coming off the end. So volleyball's my sport. Maybe something you like to eat or drink a lot. Like I love iced coffee, so I'm going to have coffee with a straw. And you're just quick sketching. Let's see. I have a dog, so I want to include a paw print. You could always zoom into a place if you want to get closer, undo or use your eraser if need be. Let's see, I'm an artist, so I want a pencil and a paintbrush. I think I want these down at the bottom. So again, I'm just kind of working my way through and kind of sketching out my design. I'm not worried about making anything perfect. Right now, it's about spacing and planning out what's going to be where. So let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objects. Still need 5 more to go. So I'd keep going, filling it in with my different objects that describe me. Let's see, I would want a book, and so on and so forth. Let's just pretend I kept going. I filled the space. I have all my little things. You do want to be able to see your face, but it's okay if there's some overlap. Once you like everything, I think it's a great idea to think about what sort of simple shapes or designs, patterns you could use to fill the background, make it look cool. Maybe you want to do just kind of these outlines around things, and it kind of fills the space that way. Maybe you want dots or stripes. Think about cool ways you can fill the space to make it look better. Maybe you want your name to be thicker, bolder, so you can make your size bigger, go to a different brush. It's all about composition, which is your arrangement on the page. How are you filling the page to make it look good? But again, we're not worrying about being perfect right now. It's about spacing and size, not about the perfect drawing. Once you have everything you like and you like this placement and everything's good, you are going to add a new layer. So again, I'm going to hit that plus on the middle right-hand side. And now we want to go and get our actual brush we want to use. So maybe you choose pen. Maybe you want to, I don't know, maybe I go to basic and I go to hard round. You choose whatever you want. You want to think about your color choices. Do you want just black and white? Do you want maybe 1 or 2 colors? I would advise limit your color palette. Don't do all of them. But start figuring out what colors you want, because now this is your final draft layer. So maybe I really love this teal color, so I'm going to go that for everything. Check my flow, check my size. And now I'm on a new layer. Now I'm going to take my time. I'm going to zoom in. And I'm actually going to try to make this look good. If things aren't good, I will edit, undo, or erase, whatever you need to make it look good. Use the layers to your advantage. So you could fill things in like this. You could take your time. You could change your sizes of brushes. You could change the types of brushes. You want to take your time and make it look good on this layer. This is your final draft layer, so this one should take more time. And you're going to go through and you're going to go over everything. Because that rough draft layer we did is going to be deleted once this entire layer is done. So I just want to kind of show you here with the letters. Let's pretend I took my time and made these good. These aren't good. I would need to go back in and fix them. But let's pretend I quickly did all these and everything is included where I want them to be. Again, pretend that I made it look good and I took my time. Once you have it, you're going to go back down to that sketch layer. See how that second one down is highlighted? I'm going to click on it a second time, and then I'm going to delete the layer. So you can see exactly what it looks like. Now another option, if you're not sure if you're ready to be done yet, instead of deleting the layer, what you can do is see up the top it says hide layer, that eye with a line through it. That means a little line through the eye. It means you just can't see it. If you just double click, well, not double click, if you just click back on the layer and say show layer, it shows back up. So that's a great way to check to see if your layer's done. Another great tip for you is maybe if you outline everything on one layer, like I did here, I could add a layer below it. So you see how instead of being on top, like there, I could take a layer and move it down, and I could draw or fill in a color behind. So maybe I go a little bit darker and I go a bigger brush. It's nice and big there, and I can zoom in and I can go behind. Now you see right now it's really big. That's probably too big of a size, but I'm filling in behind it, and I could take my eraser, change my size a bit. Oops, not flow. Size. Now I could take my eraser and erase my extra. When I'm working digitally, I use my eraser a lot to clean up my designs. That could be a great way to fill in an area really nicely. Sketch the outline on one layer and then fill in behind it. This way it's guaranteed to be filled in nicely. You could also pull out some cool brushes for this, so it has a little bit of texture. Just another option. Alright, so you would keep going with this to fill the entire thing. Remember, once you think you like everything, go back to your photo layer, go to that opacity, and put it back up to 100%. So that way you can truly see how it looks. Get out there. And close it back up. So now you can see how the colors work. You want to make sure everything can be seen. I wouldn't want to put a dark color on top of the dark part of the photo, or a light color on top of the light part. Now, once you like everything, or if it's time to stop for the day, before you close out, you do want to change the title of this piece. If we look up at the top right now, it says Untitled September 1. I'm going to click on that. And then again, I'm going to click on the Untitled September 1. That will let me rename it. I want you to rename it with your name, please. And then hit Save. And if it's already used with that name, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go Testenbergy and save. There we go. Now you see it has your name on it. So when I click my back arrow on that top left and I save it, give it a second to load. Now you see down here at the bottom, it has my name on it. Okay. And you could open it up and keep working on it on multiple days. I hope that helps. And good luck with this, guys.